Okay, so I'm not going to put an effect on this. I'm going to try to make this less than 5 minutes, or 5 minutes exactly. So I know everybody's wondering what's going on. I'm going to explain. So about 3 weeks ago, I think it was around the 11th of March or something like that, I started having a little bit of swelling in my feet. And I noticed that it was getting a little worse the next like night. It swelled more. I think I'm trying to remember dates. Sorry, my brain. I started taking an antibiotic, so it might have been the 10th of March, and then on the 11th I started taking a Moxclav because I was still having swelling. It was hard to get my foot in my shoe, and I didn't know what to do about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to instantly start taking an antibiotic. So then I started having some drainage that was it looked and had a smell of MRSA. And Wednesday I went to the hospital. So Wednesday they asked me if I had seen my doctor, and I said no. I'm switching, and I have my first appointment Monday. And they said okay, and they gave me an IV antibiotic, which was similar to a Moxclav, and sent me home, telling me that if I wasn't feeling better by the weekend, I needed to go back and be put in the hospital. So, everything started looking better. I went to see my doctor on Monday, and he told me that it was looking better. I showed him pictures, and it was actually looking better. It started to feel better. Still stuff coming out of it and a bad odor, but nothing, too crazy. And then he gave me more Amoxiclav. So that would have been 20 days of Amoxiclav. And I took it. And it seemed like everything was going good. The foot was feeling better. The swelling was going. Some of the discolorization was coming out of it. The redness was sweeping away. And it just looked like I was definitely on the right path to getting it fixed. By Wednesday, I had noticed, because I was also going to the wound clinic. I had had 2 visits to the wound clinic. We were packing the wound because it had a little bit of a hole. I was noticing that it was starting to get a little bit of it was starting to hurt a tiny little bit. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just a little bit of pain. Thursday, I had Sarah, who always does my packing of my foot. There was a hole that had ruptured, and there was more MRSA-esque looking stuff that came out of it. And then Friday, that morning, my foot was so swollen I could barely get it into my shoe. I had the worst time, and I tried to get it in. I finally got it in my shoe. And as I was coming down the stairs, or as I was downstairs, something along those lines, I felt relief. And then a couple minutes later, I felt just wetness in my shoe. I didn't pay attention to it. My feet sweat. They're leather. And whenever I went to the doctor's office, because I called the doctors, got an appointment, there was nothing but blood. It soaked my sock, and it soaked my shoe on the inside. So I had a ton of blood. And a third hole in my foot. So that's 3 holes. So I went up to the ER. They had me there. They did some blood work. They instantly sent me to Johnstown. I've been in Johnstown the last couple days. I've had vancomycin, which is a very strong antibiotic, and it's taken its toll on my, I don't know if you can see it. It looks a little bit better today, but it took a toll on my arm. My joints are killing me, and it was hard. So I, when was that? What is today? Today is Tuesday. So Sunday night at 11:30, I had to have the nurse come and have another nurse put another IV in because the vanc was so hard on the first IV that I had, which was right in the movement of my arm. I actually could not bend my arm. I lost the option to bend my arm. And then that night, probably around like 6, I lost the option to pick it up. I had to use my left arm to pick my right arm up. And I was like, okay, we have problems. Wonderful guy came down, put an IV in, fixed it, and was good to go. Talked to the doctor yesterday. He told me that he was going to send me home on some oral antibiotics and that it looked like everything was starting to clear up. And I am home. So that is my adventure. I have to go next month and start getting shoes. I also have to see if there's any way that I can rush that, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. We're going to try it. They're worried about my shoes and breaking down. So right now my plan is to do a little bit of activity, move around a little bit, and then take the shoe off, rest the foot. Do a little bit of activity, move around, take the shoe off, rest the foot. That's what we're going to do. So I'm glad to be home. Thanks for everybody's love and care and well wishes. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye, everybody.